Just finished float 3. Drove home. Here I am, still in the car parked out front of the house, because that's how this works. I gotta be right now in the moment. And today's message was sort your shit out. Sort it out. Figure out all the stuff that you have saved. All the stuff. What stuff? Papers, conferences that back to the 90s and 2000s, workshops I went to. I've kept all these notes and I need to sort it out. So I got to get it, I got to lay it all out, put it in chronological order, rip pages out of books, and make a master binder of things that I have been, that are in my consciousness, things that I know from other people. So data content, that's what I got out of today's float, was organize papers, stuff, things, knowledge, and from there write more content of my own. But I'm not going to make agreements around that quite yet. Right now I want to make agreements to sorting my stuff out. That seems useful. Today was hot, I think because I came from a dance class and I had worked out. And so I couldn't, it was hard to drop in and go as deep as I wanted to. So I kept the door open a little bit and let some cold breeze in, and that was great. But I followed Teresa's advice and did stretching and movement for the first maybe 15 minutes, and then dropped in. So I think that's helpful, but also takes up time out of the hour. So one of these days I'm going to do a double, and then you get 2.5 hours of floating, because each appointment is an hour and a half, and that accounts for you to go for an hour and then to have 10, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, to shower and put your clothes back on, get out of there. And then they come in and clean the room for the next person. So they're an hour and a half segments. But if you book 2 back to back, that's 3 hours. And you only need 30 minutes at the end. So an hour float becomes a 2.5 hour float, which I haven't done before. So I'm going to do that during this month. Action August, the month of unlimited floating. Yay! So I'm going to take tomorrow off and float again on Thursday. That'll be 4 floats in this first week that started last Friday when this idea happened, to document the ideas that come out of floating so that I'm holding myself accountable to accomplishing things, the small ideas. I was calling them micro ideas with my call with Jeff today, as opposed to big ideas that need to be thought through and planned. Like today I also thought about community living and how I want to find myself one day living in an intentional community where we share resources and work in the garden together, and there's, multi-generations living, and there's a big community house where we cook food together and host events, but we all have private spaces to go back to, that kind of intentional community living. And maybe I need to create it as opposed to joining something else. And what would that look like, and what are those steps? And acquiring property and the land, obviously, are big steps. But what if I just started tiny? Like, what if I made a list of the people in my life who say they want that too? And every time I talk to someone that's interested in it, I add them to my list. And then we can plan it and have conversations. So again, it comes back to gathering data, just like my email project, my NFA agreement with Jeff. NFA, not fucking around. Yeah. Created an NFA mission around an email campaign for my consulting practice. Getting it ready for September means going with MailChimp and populating it with email addresses of people I know, and then deciding what content I want to send out what conversations I want to have. So that's going to kick off in September. And that's a gathering data and content process of August. So it seems like that's the theme that's coming in, and I'll figure out what my specific commitments are to it and check back. Meantime, uploaded the 15-minute video from day one to the YouTube channel. So that's now live. And before I go to bed tonight, I'll be uploading video number 2. And maybe this one. We'll see how far I get. Okay, bye for now.